Okay, let's just dive right in. So your LG washer has suddenly stopped, it's flashing that dreaded PE error, and your laundry day is ground to a halt. Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to turn that frustrating moment into a quick win with this 5-minute guide.
You're just trying to get a load of laundry done, and then silence. You look over, and all you see is that blinking error code staring back at you. It is so frustrating, I know, but believe me, you are not alone, and the solution is probably way simpler than you think.
So before you even think about calling a repair service or, start pricing out a brand new machine, just take a deep breath. This is one of the most common errors these washers have, and the fix is almost always incredibly simple. And best of all, it's going to cost you absolutely nothing.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down what PE actually means. Then, we'll pinpoint the #1 cause. I'll walk you through the super quick fix. We'll talk about what to do if that doesn't work. And then finally, help you decide if you need to call in a pro. Let's get to it. Okay, first things first. Let's decode this thing. Once you understand what your machine is actually trying to tell you, you are already halfway to fixing it. That PE on your screen, it just stands for pressure sensor error. And in plain English, that means your washing machine is, it's confused. It can't tell how much water is in the tub anymore. And when a washer gets confused, it just stops.
It's actually a pretty clever system. As water fills the tub, it traps air inside this little plastic tube, which builds up pressure. A sensor reads that pressure to figure out the water level. So a PE error just means the signal that sensor's getting makes no sense. It's either way too high, way too low, or it's just jumping all over the place.
All right, so now that we know what the problem is, let's figure out why it's happening. And the good news is, there is one single, overwhelmingly common culprit behind this error. And here it is, the prime suspect. It is almost always that little plastic air tube we were just talking about. Over time, it gets clogged up with soap scum, lint, all that gunk, and that just completely throws off the pressure reading. Check this out. Over 70% of the time, the only thing you have to do to fix this error is just clear out this one tube. This isn't some weird, rare issue. It's the main event. You can totally do this. And this advice is spot on. Don't start tearing the machine apart looking for some complex electronic failure. Always start with the easiest and most likely fix first. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, you'll be done in just a few minutes. All right, enough talk. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get this thing fixed. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to clear that tube and get your laundry day right back on track.
Okay, but wait. Before you touch a single screw, and I am serious about this, please go unplug your washing machine from the wall outlet. Safety is the #1 priority here, period.
Okay, first we got to get inside. This usually just means taking out a few screws and sliding off the top or maybe the back panel. Once you're in, look around for a small plastic box. That's your pressure sensor. And your target is that thin, clear, or sometimes black plastic tube that's connected right to it. And now the moment of truth. Gently pull that tube off the little port on the sensor and give it a good hard blow. If you hear bubbling from down in the tub, you're golden. The tube is clear. But if you feel a lot of resistance, you've found your clog. A turkey baster with some hot water is perfect for flushing it out. Once it's clear, pop it back on securely, and you are probably good to go.
So what happens if you blew through the tube and it was already clear, but you're still getting that error? Don't worry, we're not out of ideas yet. Let's look at a few other possibilities. This little chart here is super helpful. Think of it as a diagnostic cheat sheet. If the error pops up the second you turn the machine on, check that the tube is actually connected or the sensor itself might be bad. If your washer is overfilling with water, that's a classic sign of either a clog or a failing sensor. And if the error comes and goes, you probably have a partial clog or just a loose connection.
So, if that tube is definitely clear, these are your next suspects. The sensor itself could have just failed. Sometimes water can get inside it, which is a big no-no. You could also have a blockage right where the tube connects to the tub. And while it's possible you have damaged wires or even a failed main control board, that's much less common. And here is a fantastic pro tip for you. Before you start thinking about electronics, follow that air tube all the way down to where it plugs into the main drum. That little opening is called the air dome port, and it's the second most common place to find a clog, usually from lint. A quick clean out with a pipe cleaner or even a toothpick can solve the whole thing. Okay, we've made it to our final section. Now you have all the info you need to make your next move. Are you going to tackle this yourself, or is it time to pick up the phone?
The choice really just breaks down like this. On one hand, you can save a bunch of money, get it fixed immediately, and get that awesome feeling of, I fixed it myself. On the other hand, you can call a pro who has the expertise for those really rare, complex issues. But you're going to pay for it, both in time and in money.
This right here is the best number you're going to see all day. The cost to do the most common fix for this PE error? 0. Nothing. Just a few minutes of your time.
And 8, even if it's the next most likely thing, a bad sensor, the part itself is really affordable. We're talking 20 to 50 bucks, usually. And replacing it is typically just unplugging the old one and plugging in the new one. Still very much a DIY-friendly job.
So look, the main takeaway, the crucial point here, is that you are absolutely capable of handling this. Whether it's the simple clog or even swapping out the sensor, this is a job you can definitely tackle yourself.
And that really leaves us with one last thought. This whole PE error, it seems so technical and intimidating, right? But the solution is usually super simple. It kind of makes you wonder, what other complex repairs around the house are actually just a 5-minute fix waiting for us to discover?